we go. My first attempt at doing a voiceover on my racing videos. So let's see how this goes. Don't expect great quality or great commentary, but so this is a first to 10 points race. Every 5 laps is a sprint, and whoever finishes first gets 5 points, and the points go from there 3, 2, and 1. And the first rider to collect 10 points finishes the race, ends the race, I should say. So we roll off. I'm in the men's Cat 4-5 field. I'm trying to get my last points to upgrade to Cat 3. And we were off the rail, and I'm been racing the Masters, so I like to stay high to have as much gravity to assist me when I need to accelerate. And so this is the neutral lap as we're forming up. I'm trying not to also be in the back. I don't want to get caught behind anybody who may open a gap or let something go off the front. My intention is to try and win this race, and so so I'm positioning myself in a good spot. I think that is a good spot. So the gun's about to go off as we come out of turn 4, which is right here, and the race is on, and the lap counter is counting 5 laps to go to the first sprint. So the group starts accelerating a little bit. You can see the rider down in the sprinters lane are trying to set a little bit of a tempo pace. Nothing crazy. I'm just trying to stay on people's wheels to a little bit here and not get in the way back there. But this kid is giving me a little bit of shelter, and as you can see, they're already pulling off, and they're not really setting much of a fast pace. So it wasn't really that hard to stay with them. And no one's really attacking hard like they do in the Masters, so this was fairly easy, and I'm just trying to wheel surf a little bit, stay loose so I can go around if I need to. I'm running a pretty big gear here. I believe for my bike, my wheels, it turns out to be about 98 gear inch, and after racing it with it last week, I discovered that I need some time to wind it up to get it to full speed. So I have to start an attack early, and therefore I want to be ready. And also that's another reason why I want to be more up track, so I can get that gravity assist. So yeah, very mellow right now. Nothing, just people just kind of feeling things out. I don't really want to do the work right now. And this guy that I'm just passing right now was the guy I struggled to beat last week. And actually beat me twice, and I beat him once. He's a good Cat 3 road guy. First couple of track races for him, so he's kind of learning this whole discipline. But he definitely has speed on him, so I have to be careful of him. And a lot of these other guys for me were unknown, so I wasn't sure what to expect out of them. So again, nothing much going on, just people moving around, taking some pulls. I'm actually starting to wind up the pace right here because I think we're going into the bell lap at this point for the sprint, so I want to be at a faster pace so when I do need to finally wind my gear up, I can do it from a higher cadence. And yep, the bell rings, and here I go. I just unleash whatever I have. I know I can hold this sprint for a whole lap or 333 meters. I do make a little bit of a mistake down here. As we go into the turn, I come out of the sprinter's lane just that little bit, and I pop back in, and then I come out once more right here, but I pop back in. And apparently a junior had a problem with that, and they had the official talk to me to remind me to stay in the lane, which I should know. I should know better because I'm an official myself, and I'm looking for that stuff too. But when you're all out, tunnel vision sometimes. Here I'm decided that I'm not going to go super hard, but I'm not going to just sit up either to let the pack catch me, because I want them to work. I want them to get tired too. And at this point, after one lap, they finally started catching me, so I pull up track to let them come by. And if they were smart, they would have attacked right now. Someone would have counterattacked right now because I'm still hurting. I'm still trying to recover, and they would have just put the knife in me, and that would have really probably hurt me a lot, that I might not have been able to contest the next sprint. But they didn't. They just took it easy. I'm trying to get on a couple wheels just to recover, get my breathing rate back under control. And now we have just 3 laps until the next points. And so I'm definitely gearing myself up to try and go again. And again, none of the group was really challenging at this point, and so they kind of forced me in the front here a little bit, if I remember. And so I'm just slowing the pace up because I'm like, I'm not gonna do the work for you guys. You guys want it, you guys got to get it. And so I'm finally letting these guys come by, block over any of the crosswind that might be there. He comes up track, and I'm just being dangerous basically and ready to go. At this point, I'm feeling better, and I'm starting to think about the end. And right here, I'm already starting to ramp things up again to get. So I'm ready to go for that the final sprint, which I believe should be coming up now. We should see one to go. Yeah, they're ringing the bell, and I'm just unleashed my second sprint. And I think this was a little bit cleaner ride on my part. My legs here were dying, and I was just telling myself to keep pulling, keep going. And I think I got a little bit of a second wind here. I'm riding the line, but I'm okay. And I looked over, and I was good. And I got to 5 points for a total 10, and ended the race. And I'm happy about that. All right, here we got our second flight for the men's Cat 4-5, which is a 15-lap scratch. Basically, first person across the line after 15 laps wins the race, and the finish order is taken at the finish. Definitely a little tired, but I still felt that I had another good sprint in me for this race, and so. But I'm also very leery of doing any work or a lot of work. My goal is just to again just be dangerous, circle around, be dangerous, and attack when I felt it would be beneficial. Again, this is our neutral lap, and keeping the pace nice and simple. I'm just staying in there, just hanging out. Coming out of turn 4, the bell or the gun actually will be fired, and you can see at the front they're already starting to crank up the pace a little bit. It's 15 laps, so my goal, I don't need to be in the front. I can kind of hang out on the back end of these hard poles. As long as no gaps open, I'm good. And we have almost like quasi two file group here. And I said I'm happy to sit on people's wheels and keep my workload to a minimal. I see I let this guy slot in. He's a little bit all over the place, but I'm good. And no one's getting away. People are just hurting themselves at the front right now. And I'm just keeping an eye up the road to make sure we're all still together. I think they slowed the pace up, so I decided to move up a little bit, just to get a little further up. And as you can see, it's just kind of, the whole thing just exploded finally, and no one's really interested in doing any more work at this point, or at least for these few seconds. So as you can see, the guy in the yellow bike looked around, and he doesn't seem interested in doing anything. So in the end, I think this does turn out to be a boring scratch race. There's an attack, and I'm letting everyone else do the response and just making sure I get on the tail end of that, so I can be in the draft. And again, it's about conservation of energy, and that attack is kind of fizzling a bit. There's not a whole lot of danger to it. And again, as you can see, I just he wants in. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, I'm not worried at all right here. I think I'm in a pretty good position. And everything is just everything's just done. That attack is over. And just like everyone else, I'm going to pull up track 2. I'm not going to waste my energy right now. We're still pretty early into the race. Of course, as soon as I pull up, this guy goes, which is actually a good sign to see some attacks. And I'm just trying to respond, and nope, nothing. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to go up to the up track and just let all these little things go, play themselves out. That I started to feel that might be a little dangerous, and the kid did not want to chase it down, so I figured I have to shut this down myself. And I did with a very minimal impact. As you can see, I left that little gap so he come back in and reduce what I have to close down. And I think at this point I'm thinking maybe we can do something, we can pull and get away from the group, but it really wasn't working. I think I had the whole field behind me, so we're not going to get away at this pace. So he pulls up and I pull up too. Again, waiting for someone to come around, slowing the pace up to force people, make them bored, make them do the work. And there's Amy over by the just before the red tent taking pictures. Still no one. I'm not going to do the work. And finally, I guess these guys got bored and decided to start doing something. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really expending a whole lot of energy here. And they had a preem at some point, donut preem, and I figured I'd let the kids go get it, because I'm in it to win the race, not to win a donut. I can't remember if it was this lap or the which lap it happened, but it was around the middle of the race. They threw that in. This might have been the preem lap. There's about 4 to go now, so things are definitely getting a little more excited. That's where I have to be a lot more vigilant. But I still feel I'm in a really good spot here. Because 4 laps, even though it's a shorter track than I'm used to, it's still 4 laps. Now I see this guy's opened up a gap, let a gap open, and there's 3 laps to go, and I was like, nope, that's not good. I need to close this down. So I went around him and I put out a little bit of power to close that down and bring me right back into the lead group here. And this kid just slotted himself in, which helped me. And I'm just not quite where I wanted to be right here. But so this guy in the blue decided to try and attack again, and I thought this would be really good for me. I didn't feel that he was going to last, and he could be the carrot that I was going to chase. And right here, I'm starting to finally ramp up. And right here, I knew I was gonna take him. He just didn't have it anymore. And now I'm going for it. Trying to get my cadence up, pass him, make sure it's clear, then I slide into the sprinter's lane, and this time I keep it keep it clean. 122 RPMs, and boom, first place. Alright, so here we have the last flight of the day. Elimination race. I hate these. I don't do well in these, especially in the Masters race, where we have the T-Town start, which means you roll off the rail and go hot even though it's a neutral lap, and that neutral lap sometimes has been up to 30 miles an hour. So, but I'm in the 4.5, so they tend to be a little more subdued, but I still just don't like it. It's not my favorite race at all. And as you'll see, I'm actually did pretty terrible in this race. I'm trying to, again, stay high and get good positioning, but everything is so spread out right now, and I'm hoping to be able to just come around. So the other thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to try and go into a hole that doesn't exist during the elimination, because I just don't want to live dangerously at this age. And the other downside, I didn't change my gears, so I was on a really big gear, and a really big gear in elimination doesn't work too well. I had to, it takes me longer to spin up and get on top of it, and these guys could spin up much quicker than me. And so now we're on the hot lap, and I'm hoping to get around, slot through, but I'm still not really on top of my gear, and I feel like now there's just no room for me because it's fast enough that I don't have the time to come out and around, and I'm just boxed in and done, eliminated. So race over. Still won the Omnium, so that was good.